Respected Congress President, Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, respected Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji, respected Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, my colleagues, friends from all parts of India who've traveled long distances to this historic 84th plenary session of the Indian National Congress. Some thought that I will not stand here today to speak to you and present the economic resolution. But I stand before you because I draw my courage and strength from each one of you who's come from all parts of India. If there is steel in me, it is a steel that is instilled in me from 45 years of association with the Congress Party. I've seen Srimati Sonia Gandhi steer this party for 20 years amidst great challenges. That has helped that steel in me grow. And today, with your good wishes, I wish to present the economic resolution at this plenary session. My first AICC session was in 1972 in Bidan Nagar. Kamal Nath ji recalled the faces that he recognized from 1972. I had the great opportunity to speak at that session. I was barely 27 years old. That was a time for change. Indira ji brought about remarkable change after that session. The next session that is vivid in my memory is 1984, 1985 in Mumbai, when Shri Rajiv Gandhi delivered that historic address in Mumbai. That again marked a time for change. Today is another historic session whose theme is, this is a time for change, and the change is now. That change, beginning today, I hope, will guide India for the next 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years under the leadership of Shri Rahul Gandhi. And on behalf of all of you, I wish him the very best. You have the resolution before you in English and Hindi. I don't wish to read the resolution. I know I speak in English, but when you read the resolution in Hindi, many of you will understand what I'm trying to say. What I say here today on behalf of the Congress Party is not only for you, it's for the crores of people who live in the lakhs of villages and the thousands of towns of India. It is for Indians who have migrated temporarily or permanently, who live and work abroad. It is for other countries of the world which wish to know in what direction India will go, how India will integrate with the rest of the world, and how India's economic policies will affect the rest of the world. Therefore, please bear with me while I explain the very salient features of the economic resolution. Dr. Manmohan Singh ji said, and he quoted a portion of the economic resolution. This government inherited a strong economy. According to their own numbers, the economy was growing at 6.3% in 2013-14. Every government inherits an unfinished task. You are in government for 5 years or 10 years, and you leave behind an unfinished task. The task will never be finished. It won't be finished in my lifetime. It won't be finished in your lifetime. It will continue from generation to generation. The current phase of economic growth began in 1984 when Shri Rajiv Gandhi first sowed the seeds of liberalization in the thinking of the Congress Party. It gathered momentum, it gathered a new life, it gathered content under Dr. Manmohan Singh. And after 1991, in the journey that has taken us 27 years, the change that has come about in India is truly remarkable. Only yesterday, Nobel laureate Paul Krugman said, no country in the world has increased its GDP as well as per capita income by 3 or 3.5 times in a matter of 10 years. And that's the proudest achievement of the UPA government between 2004 and 2014. So whatever the NDA may say, whatever the BJP may say, the record speaks for itself. The world acknowledges the remarkable contribution made by the UPA government. But what did they do? What did they do with their inheritance? Firstly, when world growth was picking up, the Indian economy, according to their own report, decoupled itself from the world economy. The economic survey says that there are 3 main challenges which were not addressed in the last 4 years: education and health, agriculture, employment. And then the most severe indictment in the last 4 years, real agricultural GDP and real agricultural incomes have remained stagnant. I want to ask the BJP, I want to ask the Prime Minister, if in 4 years you did not address the challenge of education or health or agriculture or employment, if in 4 years the farm sector has become relatively poorer, if in 4 years the average farmer has become relatively poorer, what the heck have you been doing in the last 4 years? This is a question that the Prime Minister must answer.
Linga?
Demonetization was a big lie. There cannot be a greater lie than demonetization. They said, we will abolish black money. We will put an end to corruption. We will stop fake currency. Have they put an end to black money? Every rally, every public meeting with the Prime Minister, is it financed by any money other than black money? Have they put an end to corruption? Have they put an end to fake currency? Barely days after demonetization, even before you and I saw the first 2,000 rupee note, engineers in Kandla Port Trust in Gujarat were found receiving bribes in 2,000 rupee notes. New 2,000 rupee notes were found on the bodies of infiltrators who were killed in Gujarat, in Jammu Kashmir. Demonetization was a big lie. And the biggest lie is 15,44,000 crore rupees were demonetized. You know, I know that all the money has come back to the Reserve Bank of India, and the Reserve Bank is still counting the money and won't tell us how much has come back. Today's Ugadi. We all remember the people of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, and others who celebrate Ugadi. I think I should tell the Reserve Bank governor, why are you wasting time counting the money? Why don't you just go to Tirupati, get the hundi collectors, they count the money every day, they will collect it faster than your machines can collect. The other utterly foolish move they did, distorted a good idea. GST was our idea. GST was supposed to be a good and simple tax. We pleaded in Parliament, don't put a rate above 18%. Their own economic advisor said, we can have a standard rate of 15 or 15.5%. We said, GST the world over is a standard rate. If you want, in the beginning, in the transition, you can have a standard minus rate and a standard plus rate, but please announce a standard rate. What did they do? They fleeced the people of India. They robbed the people of India. They fixed rates of 0.3, 5, 8, 12, 18, 28, 40, plus cesses on top of it. They distorted GST, wrecked trade, destroyed thousands of small and medium businesses, destroyed millions of jobs, and today GST has earned a bad name only because of the BJP government. Inequalities increased among states. Inequalities increased among sections of the people. Nobody has been more affected than the scheduled caste. The scheduled caste sub-plan has been scrapped. The scheduled tribes, the tribal sub-plan has been scrapped. Women, children, and minorities. Unemployment is the biggest challenge facing this country. We created jobs. Not enough jobs, but we created jobs. This government has destroyed jobs. And finally, they made all kinds of promises. The first big promise was 15 lakh rupees will be deposited in your account. I checked this morning. Today is Sunday. The banks are not open. But I think tomorrow when you go back home and open your bank account, Mr. Modi would have deposited 15 lakh rupees. That was the first lie they uttered in their drive to power. But it was followed by a series of lies. A series of lies which the economic resolution captures. They said, we will put 15 lakh rupees in your bank account. They said they will create 2 crore jobs. They said there will be minimum government and maximum governance. They said, Achhe din aane wale hai. And they said, we will control inflation. They said that we will give fair prices to farmers. Every single promise has been broken. Let the BJP answer which one of the promises has been kept in the last 4 years. Friends, I want to tell you about our record and ask Mr. Modi what is his record. Our record is, in the 10 years of UPA, the economy grew by 7.7%. Never in India's history has decadal growth been 7.7% a year. What is the record of the BJP government in the last 4 years? Our record is that the GDP in 10 years increased from, and I want you to remember this number, 30 lakh crore rupees to nearly 100 rupees to 85,000 rupees in 10 years. What is the record of the BJP government? Our record is agricultural growth was 4%. The BJP's record is 2.7%. Our record is minimum support prices were increased 3 times in 10 years. It trebled in 10 years. The BJP's record is, for 4 years, they gave miserly increases in MSP, and suddenly in the last year, they wake up and say, we're going to give you MSP equal to cost plus 50%. Our record is farm incomes, farmers' incomes, increased by 40% in real terms in 10 years. Their record is, the Niti Aayog's report says, for the first time in India's history, real income of farmers has declined in the last 4 years. Suddenly, the Prime Minister says, and yesterday he went on to explain, how he's going to give MSP, which will be cost plus 50%. We asked him, which cost? Is it A1 cost, C1 cost, C2 cost, which cost? And yesterday he gave a long list of costs that will be taken into account, and add 50% to that, that will be the MSP. I want to ask him, every year, food subsidy increases by 30,000 crore. That is necessary to take care of inflation, necessary to take care of increased procurement, necessary to take care of the rise in population. Between 2016-17 and 17-18, MSP, the food subsidy increased by 30,000 crore. Between 2017-18 and next year, 2018-19, the provision for food subsidy has increased by 30,000 crore, from 1,40,000 to 1,70,000. So the 30,000 crore that you have provided already is for taking care of the current MSP. If you're going to give MSP equal to cost plus 50%, I want to ask the Prime Minister, come to Parliament tomorrow and tell us where the money is coming from, where have you provided the money, and without providing the money, how do you make this promise to the people? Why does the Prime Minister choose a Saturday when Parliament is not sitting to make this statement? Why doesn't he come to the floor of the Lok Sabha and floor of the Rajya Sabha and make the promise to parliamentarians that here is the MSP that I will give? In our time, in the 10 years, exports increased from $64 billion, that is 6,400 crore dollars, to 31,400 crore dollars, an increase of 5 times. 6,400 crore dollars to 31,400 crore dollars. Remember this number, 314 billion. In the last 4 years, exports have declined. Last year, in 2016-17, exports were only $275 billion. And in 2017-18, it will not cross $300 billion. While we increased exports by 5 times in 10 years, in 4 years, exports have declined under the BJP government. When exports decline, jobs are lost. When exports decline, businesses are closed down. We gave education loans. When we left office, outstanding number of education loans was 25 lakh loans were outstanding. 56,240 crore rupees had been given as education loans. Today, no one gets an education loan. I ask you, any of you, please stand up and say, I know a brother, I know a cousin, I know a neighbor, I know a man in my village, I know a man in my neighborhood who's got one education loan in the last 12 months. Nobody has got education loans. Nobody can go to a bank and get an education loan today. In our time, we created jobs. I concede we did not create enough jobs, but we created jobs. People found jobs. Educated people found jobs. Others got jobs in the service industry. In 4 years of the BJP government, they have not created jobs, they have destroyed jobs. Demonetization destroyed jobs. A flawed GST destroyed jobs. They have destroyed jobs. In our time, stalled projects, projects which got stuck, were revived. We set up a special committee and the cabinet looked at it practically every month, and a project that was stuck was started again. Look at their record. In 2014, there were 766 stalled projects. In 2015, the number went up to 816. In 2016, the number went up to 893. More projects are stalled today. Projects are not revived. Projects are not started. Projects are stopped. Projects are stalled. And finally, this is the greatest achievement of the Manmohan Singh government. 140 million people, 14 crore people were lifted out of poverty. Never before has it happened in the history of mankind. Never before has any country lifted 14 crore people out of poverty. I charge the BJP government, in the last 4 years, you have pushed people into poverty. Demonetization pushed thousands of people into poverty. 100 people lost their lives standing in the queue to get their own money. GST destroyed jobs. GST pushed people into poverty. Agrarian distress has pushed farmers into poverty. Daily workers have been pushed into poverty. Small and medium businesses that have closed down, their families have been pushed into poverty. If there is a survey today of the poverty ratio, I'm absolutely certain in the last 4 years, the number of people below the poverty line has increased in absolute terms rather than reduced. This is the greatest disservice that the BJP government has done to the people of India. And on this one count alone, we hear the voice of the people from Alwar to Ajmer to Gorakhpur to Fulpur to Araria. The people have spoken saying, this government, increasing of lifting people out of poverty, is pushing people into poverty. Finally, my friends, let me tell you on behalf of the Congress Party, the country faces a crisis. It will go into a deeper crisis in the last year of this government. This budget has provided no answers. This budget is the handiwork of a government which is completely helpless, completely clueless, completely directionless. I'm afraid 12 months from today, whoever comes into government will face a major crisis. The one party which can bring this country out of crisis is the Congress Party. Why do I say that? I say that not out of arrogance, not out of conceit. I say that because we have done it before and we can do it again. We have done it before and we can do it again. For the farmers, we promise debt forgiveness, generous credit, remunerative prices, and a safety net. You may ask me, how are you confident you will do it again? Yes, we have done it before. We were the ones who waived 72,000 crore of farmers' loans in 2008. We were the ones who gave generous credit to farmers with interest subsidy. And we were the one who gave them remunerative prices by increasing MSP 3.5 times in 10 years. We have done it before, and I tell the farmers of India, all my farmer brothers and sisters, we can do it again. The Congress Party can do it again. To the private sector, you are the sector that will create jobs. You are the sector that will bring investment. You are the sector that will drive India's exports. You are the sector that will employ thousands and thousands of young men and women. In the 10 years of UPA rule, the private sector flourished. We matched it with a competitive and viable public sector. Investments boomed. Gross fixed capital formation touched an all-time high of 35%. We have done it before, and we will do it again beginning next year. And we promise the industry, business and trade. There will be no tax terrorism, no veiled threats, no midnight knocks on your door, and no arbitrary powers to tax officials which have kept you in utter fear. We will lift fear and we will allow you to create wealth. We have done it before and we will do it again. The banks are paralyzed today, thanks to this government. NPA is not a new problem. India has faced two major NPA crises in the past. Once in 2001-2 and once in 2009-10. On both occasions, the Indian banking system was relieved of the NPA problem by sagacious decisions, by wise decisions. Today, the NPA problem is worsening every day. When we left office, the NPA was 2 lakh crore. In December 2017, NPA is 10 lakh crore. What does it mean? It means that loans which were performing loans when the UPA demitted office have become non-performing loans in the last 4 years. To all those who are worried about the banking system, let me give this assurance. We solved India's NPA problem at the worst time in 2009-8 after the international financial crisis. We have done it before. We can do it again. We will retrieve India's banking system from the present crisis. To my young friends, parents who have children, young men and women who have come to this gathering, your brothers, your nephews, your sons, your grandchildren, let me tell you, it is those who are under 40 who have to bear the responsibility for building a strong nation. We promise you education loans. We promise you more institutes of higher learning, IIMs and IITs. We promise you there'll be more seats in medical colleges and engineering colleges like we did when we expanded the enrollment for OBCs. We will give you education loans. We will give you skill development. We will create jobs. We will encourage trade, construction, and exports to create the jobs. We have done it before, and we will do it again. Repose your faith in us. And finally, this party, the Congress party, the party of liberalization, the party that speaks for economic freedom, the party that believes that the private sector and a competitive public sector together can take this country forward, this party will always lean in favor of the poor. As long as there are poor in this country, this party must lean in favor of the poor. We can encourage the middle classes and the rich classes to create wealth. But those who are left behind, those who cannot access the market, those who are deprived of education, those who are deprived of healthcare, this party commits to be always a party that will lean in favor of the poor and build safety nets for the poor. We built India's greatest safety nets. The right to work was our safety net. The right to education was our safety net. The right to food was our safety net. The Forest Rights Act was our safety net. We built safety nets for scheduled castes, for the farmers, for those who want jobs, for women. We built safety nets. We have done it before. We will do it again. We will build safety nets for the poor of this country until the last poor man is lifted out of poverty and can share in prosperity. Friends, go from here to your villages, to your towns, and spread the word. A new leadership, a young leadership, a dynamic leadership has taken over in the Congress party. The Congress party looks forward, looks to the future with great confidence. We have done it before, we will do it again. Let the past 4 years and the year that will go by be a bad memory. We will come back with friends, allies. We will come back in 2019 and take this country forward. I ask for your support for the economic resolution. Thank you. Jai Hind.